Hi, my name is Patty Kinnaman, and I would like to share with you my very first meeting with my Guru Sri Sai Maharaj. I've been a Sathya Sai Baba devotee since November of 1999. At that time, I was very, very sick, lying in bed, praying for help, and then I found out about Swami. And so, because I was already 48 years old, and been looking for him since I was 25 years old, I did absolutely everything I could that he suggested to move myself along the spiritual path as fast as possible. And that was always my goal, to be on the fastest path. So I started chanting his name continually as he suggested, chanting the divine name, and in about 1.5 years' time, he started appearing to me in his divine form. Now my life was totally different because, you see, he was training me from the inside out. He monitored everything I did, everything I said, and told me what he liked and what he didn't like. And so in this way, I changed. So in April 2005, he suggested to me that I come to India full time to live. So I did that, and I started going to darshan, but that Swami who used to come to me in the divine form was not the same Swami that would come out for darshan. And in fact, in some ways, it was kind of disappointing for me. You know, the Swami I had was so loving and sweet and attentive, and this Swami, the physical Swami, just ignored me. And sure, you know, in a couple of years' time, 2 years' time, I got a couple wonderful looks. But for the most part, he just ignored me. He put me in all the high numbered token lines, which is what we had to sit in to go see him. I would always draw the high numbers and be assured that the line on the left would be number 1 and the line on the right of me would be number 2, and I'd be in number 18 or 48 or whatever. And in the end, when I was still going to darshan, I swear I'd only get this much of him to see. He would adjust himself. I complained, and he said, well, who needs to see me less than you? I said, well, you're right. You know, it still didn't feel great. So this continued, and then in 2007, my friend Priya, who was a realized soul, came to see me in India, and she brought me the message that Swami said there was no need for me to come to darshan anymore. I said, okay, well, all right, fine. So I didn't go. I stayed in my room, and then when he would leave the physical hall, he would come to see me in my room, and I would check the time with my friends, and sure enough, you know, that's the way it was. So I enjoyed this relationship, and then in 2011, Swami was getting ready to leave his body, so I spent the whole month before he left praying for him. And the day he left, a few moments after I heard he left, I went back to my house, and I didn't know what to do. And then Swami appeared, and he said, so what's changed? I said, what? He said, has anything changed between us? I said, no. He said, that's right. So don't be sad. I'm still with you. I said, okay. And I was spared all that physical grief that everybody else around me was feeling. I mean, I had already been weaned from darshan, and I still had him. So that was good. So I was very surprised in May of 2013 when I started having a lot of problems seeing Swami. In the morning, perhaps I would see him a little while, and in the evening, perhaps a little while. But the rest of the day, I was in complete darkness. I had these terrible voices in my head urging me to kill myself, telling me terrible things about me. And this continued day after day. So I talked to my friend Sue, and she said, Patty, I have a guru who's outside of Bangalore. Would you like to come see him? Maybe he can help you. I said, yes, of course. She said, okay. So she set the appointment up for me the following Sunday. And I must tell you, that week, I don't know how I made it. You know, I don't think I could have gone one more day. Things were so bad for me. I was basically lying in bed all day, gasping for air. And so she said, Patty, you know, he had just moved. He couldn't see us in his new residence. So we needed to meet meet him at a resort nearby, and she was going to bring another devotee to come see him on Saturday, and then I could meet him on Sunday. And she said, bring an overnight bag, because nowadays he's asking people to spend 2 days so he can work on them. I said, okay. So I did that. So I arrived Sunday morning, eager to meet him, and I waited, and he came in the door, and oh my gosh, I thought I knew him. Actually, I thought I knew him. He looked so familiar, and he reminded me of one of Swami's students. He was so innocent looking and so pure and so luminous and so kind and so sweet. And he brought us breakfast, and so we ate that. And then he was talking, and then he asked me if I would spend the night. And I didn't want to. I was surprised. I didn't want to. I felt this intense pressure in my head and in my body, and I wanted to run away. I just wanted to run away. And so I didn't think this was right. So I asked Sue to come outside with me. And I said, Sue, I've waited for this. I've prayed for this. I'm eager for this. I need this. Why do I want to run away? And she said, I don't know. I said, that's not logical, is it? She said, no. I said, okay. So I walked back in. I said, yes, I will stay. He said, good. If you had not stayed, I wouldn't be able to help you. I said, okay. So he started doing this very strange thing. He started tapping my upper arm like this, and he started tapping my knee. And then afterwards, he took us in his car up to Nandi Hill. So Sue and I rode with him, and the other 2 devotees rode in the taxi I had brought, and we went up to the hill, and he was driving very, very fast on the way up, very aggressively, honking at every turn, and basically Indian style. It didn't bother me. I was used to this. And so then we went up there. We had, it's a beautiful place. And we went to the Shiva temple, and we had some ice cream. And then he said afterwards that he was cutting it short. So we went back down, but this time his driving was very, very different. He was going slowly. He was having problems staying in his lane. And I didn't know what was going on. This wasn't normal. He certainly didn't drive that way on the way up. And we got back to the resort, and he said, I took a black dragon out of you. It was very dark, very negative, and now I'm having problems dealing with it. And that's why he was driving that way. He was having problems. And he said, the reason you wanted to run away was that negativity in you wanted to get away from me. It was urging you to run. So I had an explanation for that. And then he said, he said, you've gotten way too far without guidance and protection. He said, I am the bridge to your spiritual goals. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And then I thought, oh my gosh, he's telling me he's my guru. I didn't even know I needed a guru. And now he's telling me in this beautiful, eloquent way that I am the bridge to your spiritual goals. Oh my gosh. So I was so thankful. I didn't know I needed a guru. I didn't know I needed help until that day. I'd already had Swami, but then this happened to me. So to this day, Sri Sai Maharaj is my guru. He helps me every day. He's there for me. He protects me. He guides me. And I just want to thank Swami for this beautiful gift that he's given to me in my life. Om Sai Ram.